in an accident during qualifying. And I remember when I was helping Bill on his car, he comes over and says, "Hey, listen, Gordon doesn't have a lot of racing experience here," and he says, he's coming up into this pretty powerful car that he bought. And he says, it was a Rayburn he bought from Murphy, the 24 car. And he says, he's gonna have a hard time with it. You want to talk to him because his crew didn't have a lot of experience.
Uh-huh.
And I got to looking at his car. It was parked next to Bill's, and I said, "Bill, come here." And we stood behind the car. I said, "Who's doing the work on Gordon's car here?" He goes, "Oh, his crew." And he goes, "Like I said," he goes, "they don't have a lot of experience." I go, "Do you see what I see?" And Bill starts looking at the back of the car, and he says, "I think we better talk to him about that." What had happened was he's talking about the car was tight. Any race car is going to be tight when you've got 11 inches of reverse stagger.
Holy.
Yeah, so I said, "Hey, Gordon, come here." I said, "Let me talk to you." And Bill's like, "You might just listen to what he's got to talk to you about here." And so we got to talking, and I took his crew back. I said, "You can't do this." "Can't do what?" I said, "The right rear tire is on the left rear corner." And we got to talking, and Bill kind of razzed Gordon about it a little bit. Just had a good time with it, and they went out and raced, and then it was a couple of races later when Gordon had the unfortunate accident. But he always made light of everything, and it was just so much fun working for him, and it was kind of cool to talk with Billy about that. It brought a lot of memories back for me personally. I remember when were we there when Bill had his big accident in the fire?
See, and that's what a lot of people don't realize is I've been around racing, but I actually have never met Billy or Bill or any of those guys. But me even just being in the racing community for 4 years now, and going into my 5th season at Willamette Speedway, the name Billy Workman, the name
him.
Bill Workman,
Yeah.
the whole Workman family, Nicky. I mean, you say Workman out there, and you instantly, even though I've never met the guy, I have the utmost respect for Bill, the utmost respect for Billy,
right.
Their whole family. The stories
the
stories you hear about Bill and the Stroganoff. I mean,
I'll never forget that as long as I live.
And you hear just Billy talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's what racing's about.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I mean, it's
that Stroganoff story, and I'm not kidding you. The pan had to be 36 inches across.
Yeah,
and it was every bit of 12 inches deep. I mean, this is the biggest pan, and he's stirring this thing with like an oar. And he's got his whole body into it, and I'm like, "Who's eating this stuff? I mean, are you feeding everybody?" He goes, "I hope you're hungry."
But yeah, no, Bill's fire. I wasn't there for that, but I've heard the stories and I've seen the video. We actually use that as a training video.
Good, watch that video because you'll see me spraying a fire extinguisher directly on Bill. Because the chemical that I don't know whose fire extinguisher it was that was over there. That there was 2 of them. I just grabbed them and started spraying. They weren't for the proper chemical.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So knowing that and seeing that it's not putting the fire out, I just sprayed Bill. I'm trying to do everything I can to. I mean, he was in a huge. It was big. So I'm trying to keep Bill, from getting burned. And I two fire extinguishers full, just spraying on him. And when you see a man Bill's size move as fast as Bill was moving that night, that's an impressive thing because he came out of the top of the race car. And when he came out of the top and went over the halo, his foot got caught on the, how the hood comes back and then the deck drops.
The drop deck, yeah.
Yeah, his foot got caught on that and he fell and landed on the racetrack in the fire. And I was standing, I ran over there and I just grabbed the first extinguisher I saw and I'm just, I'm spraying Bill, trying to do whatever I can to keep him from getting burned. And, he had a good fire suit on. He got out of it, but it was one of the scarier moments of my time in racing. And you hate to see friends go through something like that, but in true Bill Workman fashion, later on that night, he just kind of laughed it off and said, "Well, we'll get a new car and go on to the next week." I just thought, wow. I mean, most guys would be, upset and scared, and he just kind of, hey, that's the way it goes. That's life, and let's move on.
When it comes down to it, that's all you can do.
Well,
what's done is done. I mean, might as well put a smile on your face, walk away, be thankful for what you got, and go buy a new race car and go out and win the next one.
Yep.
It is what it is.
And speaking of winning the next one, I'm excited to watch Bryson James at
the
Chili Bowl. He had experience over there in Duquesne, Illinois, and did very well. We kind of talked about it. He did very well. For never having been in a midget car, going against that level of competition. It's not like you're it's not like you're going to be, racing against guys that are on your level that never raced. You're talking about Joey Saldana and Corey Cruzman, and he talks to some big time names, and he goes out and actually finished ahead of Saldana. He made the show, did well. He was like any other race car driver or hard athlete. He's tough on himself. A little disappointed with how it ended up, but all in all, I mean, you got to be happy with what you learned. The experience in itself, and the kid's got to be chomping at the bit to get to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the Chili Bowl.
Absolutely. You look at what happened. I mean, he had to race his way into the big show, into the big dance from the LCQ.
Right.
Then he made it into the LCQ.
And passed a lot of cars.
And then it happens.
It's racing.
He had a little bit of an incident on track, had to go to the back, and then he worked his way forward again. Mm-hmm. If this is any indication as to what that young kid is going to do in the Chili Bowl,
I think he's going to be okay.
I think I'm going to buy all 5 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm buying all 5 days, and I'm going to be sitting there yelling for the 45X car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's always tough on himself. He's very serious about his racing.
But I think the best of the best really are.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Earnhardt, you talk about the greatest race car driver probably of all time, certainly at the NASCAR level. I mean, that guy could win a race and find the one thing. And I'll tell you, here's a funny experience before we get out of here. We've got about 10 minutes left. When I was crewing for Bob Jeffrey, and I'm not kidding you, when I talk about the best of the best being hard on themselves, this is a true, honest story. When I was working for Bob Jeffrey, we had a 100-lap race, and back then he was in the V6 car. We had a camera mounted in the car, and he goes out, and if you know Bob on a personal level, Bob is different. Bob's mind works a little bit different than probably anybody you're ever going to meet. He was so good at what he did in a 100-lap feature. We won the race. We were talking about it on the way home. Him and I are in the truck. We're heading home, and I said, that was just an awesome race. I said, you were so smooth, and you went to the front from the back of the pack, and he lapped almost the whole field. On the way home, he says, yeah, he goes, it was a good race. He goes, it was good. He goes, but man, lap 36 sure sucked. And I said, what? He goes, lap 36 was, I screwed it. I almost lost it right there. He goes, I almost ended the whole night for us on lap 36. I took the tape. We got back to the house, unloaded the car, went up in the media room, popped it on, and watched. And I'm not kidding you. On lap 36, down the backstretch, there was the slightest of bobbles. The car fishtailed a little bit, and on lap 30, there was no scoreboard back then. You didn't know that. So for him to keep track of those laps in his head and tell me on lap 36, I almost lost it. I almost ended the whole night.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I seriously,
wow.
Just unbelievable. I mean, but let's talk about the other 99 laps that were almost perfect.
Right.
And he wants to talk about the one he screwed up on.
That's the way they all are.
And by any standard, I don't think was even what you would call a screw up. The car just fishtailed a little bit on a track that was, like Billy says, talk about how slick Lebanon is and was.
I can't imagine knowing what lap you're on. Back when I was racing the twin-engine karts,
right?
I remember at indoors at Clark County in Vancouver.
Yep.
The race is over. I don't even see the flagman. The race is over. I did like 3 laps and before somebody come out on the track and flag me down because I didn't count the laps.
Right. I couldn't imagine trying even in the karts. Trying to keep track of what lap you're on. You just know you got to be getting towards the end of the race.
That's really.
And especially in an open wheel midget or a sprint car, you're going so fast.
Right.
You don't have time to look up the scoreboard. I mean, even in the modifieds, it's hard. It's really hard to do because.
I see Bryson on that. Warren's just losing it over here. I just see Bryson on that level of knowing, hey, this is what happened. I mean, he's kind of in that elite, that upper echelon of drivers. So it'll be cool. So looking forward to seeing him back in the car at the Tulsa, Oklahoma Chili Bowl. And again, guys, don't forget, if you want to support Bryson and his endeavor back there and be a part of the whole experience, you can have your name on the car by simply purchasing a hat T-shirt combo from Charlie. You can do that through Charlie, and we'll give out. You can go to Charlie James' Facebook page; it's on there. You can go to Moxie Media and Promotions; it's on there.
Come into Jetstream,
right? Come into Jetstream. We've taken some payments for them. Drop off your payment when the hats and shirts are produced. You leave your information here; they'll get it to you. It's $100. You get a shirt, a hat, and you get your name on the car.
For the Chili Bowl.
For the Chili Bowl
right.
and on the shirt. So
Wow.
Kind of a cool deal. I know you guys have already, committed. We've committed to putting our name on there, and we're going to. And who knows? Who knows where it ends up? And if the kid goes out and makes it to the top of the top and say wins Daytona, you can say, you know what? I was a part of that. Kind of a cool deal.
Hey, Warren, what kind of race is Daytona?
Shut your mouth.
I caught that too. I wasn't going to say anything.
But
I love all his references to NASCAR, but he doesn't like it. It's just awesome.
So he goes out and wins the World 100. Man's game. Let's talk man's game. You can just say, hey, you know what? I got to be a part of that. I got to help that kid, and it would be a cool story to have.
Absolutely.
But very cool. So we're getting really close to the 2-hour mark, and we're going to wrap it up at 2 hours. But again, Bryson, go check it out on the pages. Whether it's Bryson James, it's Charlie James,
James Yang Racing,
it's all
Moxie.
there.
It's all there.
$100, T-shirt, hat, name on the shirt, name on the car, the Chili Bowl. Great deal. You guys can call Charlie, and that's on his page. I don't have that number handy. I think it's like 990-2613 if I know Charlie. I think that's what it is. And, again, don't forget, March 24th, we're going to load 32 race cars in the Heritage Mall in Albany. So if you've got a nice car, you want to put it together for your sponsors and get it in here and show it off and come out and interact with your fans and your, the local community, it's a great way to do it. We're going to promote all of you guys that bring a car, and we're going to promote your sponsors. It's going to be a great deal. It's going to be a very busy, hectic time for us, like it was last year, but it's something we're looking forward to. I know Warren's, you're pretty excited about this deal, and
heck yeah,
I think you're even going to have something in that show, aren't you?
And no,
I think you are.
Am I?
I
so.
am. Yeah, you will.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, you will
yes,
have something
absolutely.
And that's going to be a nice little hot rod. People will get to see that and check it out.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. So check it out. The Northwest Race Car Show presented by Jetstream Aqua Massage. You guys have anything you want to say before we get on out?
Just wish everybody happy holidays, I suppose.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to everybody from here at Moxie Media Promotions, Northwest Dirt News.
Get wherever you're going safely, guys.
That's right.
It might be freezing fog out there right now.
Well, it was pretty bad coming in. You guys just be safe through the holidays. Remember, it's all about family and being with each other, and it's not about the presents. It's the time that's
well said.
Most important. And Merry Christmas to all of you guys from all of us, and be safe. Don't drink and drive. We're going to get on out of here from the Jetstream Aqua Massage Studio. We'll talk to you guys later, and we will see you
at the races. Northwest Dirt News is a production of Moxie Media Promotions, brought to you by our title sponsors, Crocker's Cars and Northwest Trucking Academy, in association with Jetstream Aqua Massage, Stumbling J Livestock, Swears Trucking, Tommy's Transmission, Rugged Radios, and you, the race fans. Don't forget, you can reach us 24/7 at nwdirtnews@yahoo.com.